Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of The Weekly Sting. I'm your host, Joe Hutzler, and before we get to our first guest, let's take a look back at the recap from earlier in our last couple games. We take a look at women's basketball, who trounced Virginia Wesleyan 74-50. Sammy Goldsmith with a unconventional double-double, 11 rebounds and 10 assists. The men's basketball team falling short at Methodist. Lyndon White with a double-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds. The team shot just 52% from the free throw line. Now we get to our first guest, who has nothing to do with basketball, Chef Michial Neal. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Let's talk about this building and what it has meant to the college and what it's in terms of the food choices. Instead of just the cafeteria, you have other things on campus, including the beautiful Westover. How important was that for you all to have for the student experience?
Well, just starting with the Westover room, this is from the Westover building that used to be right in front of Mont that they tore down, okay? So this building was built, I think, in late 60s, 68, something like that. So for improvements, yes. I mean, for student dining always keeps evolving, okay? So when I first came here, it was, tuna casserole and pickled beets, all crazy stuff. But the choices are, what the students are looking for. Mm-hmm. Okay, so from the Westover room to OCG to the CAF, that's what we try to give them, is the choices that they're looking for. Okay.
What was the, point where you said we want to give the students choice? I mean, was it just overwhelming majority of students always gave you suggestions? So you thought this is something we really should look into?
It's really primarily their diets.
Mm-hmm.
With the amount of athletes that are here on campus, carbohydrates are very, important to them. Having a balanced diet is really important to them. So offering the vegetables and the fruits and the proteins, and then being able to have a selection that they like, that's really important to us.
You have been here for 26 years, I believe. 26 years. So you've seen a lot of changes, of course, at Lynchburg College. As a whole, some of the changes that you've seen, what's been one of the biggest good things that's happened here at Lynchburg?
Oh my, I definitely want to say the expansion of the buildings and the campus, okay? Shule Hall, the Hobbs renovation, the addition to Turner, the addition to Drysdale is a big one. Claytor Nature Center is really important.
Yes.
So just the expanding, the college always seems like it's moving and it's expanding for new heights, new things.
Now, you just decide what you want to be chef, and here you are. You've had experiences, and one of the cool things that you mentioned to me was, as far as places that you've hosted or catered for, was Mountain Lake Hotel. Is that what it was?
Yes, Mountain Lake Hotel.
Where they filmed Dirty Dancing.
Correct. Yes.
What was that event for, and what do you get? What's kind of the excitement level you get out of doing an event in a place that's pretty famous?
Actually, I worked at Mountain Lake Hotel for almost 2 years.
Oh, okay.
That was right after they had finished filming Dirty Dancing, so we got all the hoopla from the movie after the movie cut.
Right.
They was wanting to come up and see where Patrick Swayze stayed and everything else. They sold bed sheets that he slept.
Oh my goodness.
But actually, from the movie, in the kitchen where he's in the kitchen, that is the actual kitchen.
Wow. So you stood where Patrick Swayze stood.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. You put down as once in a lifetime.
Correct.
Bucket list and mark it off there. Go back even further. You're from Missouri.
Correct.
How did you get to Lynchburg, Virginia?
I was very fortunate to have two grandmothers that, had a passion for cooking. Okay, cooked very well, okay? My grandmother on my father's side was very, country style. My mother's side was more gourmet style. So I got both flavors from my grandmother's. And I started cooking when I was 13 years old, okay? An A&W root beer stand, where they were on roller skates and stuff like that. I've just worked in different types of operations from there. Moved from Missouri to Richmond, did a short stint in Richmond, and then then to Mountain Lake, and then from Mountain Lake here to Lynchburg. So,
Why have you stayed here so long? What's one of the reasons?
Really, it's the students. You get automatic feedback, okay? All right? It's an always changing menu, okay? And it's just a great age group or a range to work with. They're don't try anything, okay?
They will try things. That makes your job pretty cool too, because you get to put different stuff out there. What's something or some things that are coming down the line for dining service to something you're trying to do?
I just got done rewriting all of the menus, okay? For the fall semester. So we'll be taking a look at that and evaluating those coming up for the spring semester. We're really trying hard to get sushi on campus, okay?
Ooh, really, sushi, okay.
Really trying hard to get just the things that we're a big operation. If we're a big operation, it'd be really easy. We're really concerned about the movement we have on that. So, that takes a talented person to put that together on a daily basis, and ordering the fresh fish and everything else. So yeah, trying to get that here. That would be.
I know a lot of people would be excited about that for sure. One thing I do want to, as someone who's fairly new here, I'm starting to find things that that interest me. And one of the things when you're in the CAF is the suggestion wall. And I think some people might want to know how much do those suggestions actually get read, and do you guys actually take those into consideration?
The suggestions are answered every week. I'm the one that gives sarcastic answers that you see there.
Okay.
So they do get answered every week, and suggestions are, for better lack of terms, golden. Okay, if they're asking for something that I can get for them today or tomorrow, it's there. It's just like the potato bar, complaints on the potato bar, so it's gone. There were a lot of complaints and hamburgers every day. That's something that we tried, and if you're not trying, right. So we, scaled those back, and now we get complaints about not grilled chicken every day. So, we try to add that in there. So we're trying to keep everybody happy, but that's a hard job.
Okay? Yeah, if you figure that out, you let the rest of us know. Okay.
Will do.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. You're doing a great job here in Lynchburg. Absolutely.
Thank you.
When we come back on the Weekly Sting, we will have another basketball player for this week. Might be Charmaine Hairston, might be Lyndon White. Still trying to figure it out. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Weekly Sting. I'm Joe Hutzler, your host, and before we get to our next guest, let's get to the Hornet trivia question for this week. And this week we ask you, with 10 assists versus Virginia Wesleyan last Saturday, Sammy Goldsmith tied the single-game women's record for basketball. How many others have done the same? Stick around for the third segment, and we will get you that answer. And speaking of women's basketball, now we have shooting guard Charmaine Hairston on the show. First of all, thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
How are exams going for you?
79. Okay, I guess.
Okay, you guess.
Yes,
okay.
Not my favorite part of the year for sure. But
I think there's a lot of people that would agree with that statement for sure. How many do you have left?
Two.
Two? Okay,
Two left.
So you're almost done. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And then we're on to Christmas. Can't wait. Let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about the team right now in the midst of a winning streak, and kind of it looks like you guys are getting better with every game. Is that the feeling around the locker room too?
Yes, for sure. At first it was hard to put games back to back, and for us to consistently win and even have two close games back to back. Because we were having one game where we blew somebody out of the water, and then the next game we were getting blown out of the water.
Right.
So it's definitely been a good past few weeks for us as we're going. So,
what do you think has contributed to you all finally getting that consistency?
I would say team chemistry mostly. Like we've had multiple meetings with each other, just seeing where we are together, and also I guess just practicing more for sure together. And I think that's helped a whole lot.
I want to know how intense it gets when in the midst of those troubling times with Coach Isaac Smith. So you get pretty rowdy?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's intense,
Real
right?
intense, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, really, that's what works for us. I mean, if she wasn't that intense, then we wouldn't be as intense as we are on the floor either. So.
Probably feels good to have a coach that's kind of
It does. Very
been
much.
there and feels that way.
Yeah.
Your role is, from an outsider standpoint, can't quite figure it out. You know, coming off the bench a little bit more often. Do you like coming off the bench and, and providing that spark?
I do. I like it a lot. You know, I mean, I like starting too, but I'm willing to come off the bench, start, whatever it takes for us to win. So if that's me coming off the bench, if that's me starting, if that's me playing 5 minutes a game, then I'm all for it.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
I like that answer. Real quick, let's talk about one of your teammates, Sammy Goldsmith. She's so close to the all-time assist record. What's it like when you're out there on the floor with her and her ability to find you guys in space and when you're open for shots?
I mean, it's awesome. I like to shoot a lot, as you can tell.
Yeah.
If anybody watches the game. So, I mean, and she'll find me. She'll find me in the best position. She knows where I like the ball, where my favorite spot is on the floor. So I always love playing with her. And she's awesome finding Cheney also.
Yes.
Yeah,
which is always a good thing to do.
Yes.
Find Cheney down low and usually ends in a good possession. For those who don't know, Sammy is 3 away from tying the all-time record. So keep that in mind next Monday when they're at Averett. Let's talk about stuff outside of basketball. You obviously have a life outside of that, maybe, I guess. Kinda. What's something that you like to do when you guys do have free time?
Mostly just hang out with the team. I mean, we do a lot of nature runs, things like that. I mean, that's really all we do. We'll hang out, we'll watch basketball, we'll watch movies. But other than that, we really don't do anything too exciting, I would guess.
I've had 3 of you all now, including yourself, on the show, and you guys have said the same thing. I mean, I just think that's really awesome that you guys do so much together, even when you're not on the floor. And I'm sure you'll give me the same answer, but do you notice that when you are on the floor together, that those off the court things that you do, it's time you spend together, makes it so much easier once you're out there?
Yes, very much. I mean, there's times where we can almost finish each other's sentences before. So we very much know what each other are like and how we go as people also. So
an interesting thing that you and I talked about before your game against Ferrum, you're from Rocky Mount and you have a cousin that's on that team. What was the decision to not just stay in that area and come to Lynchburg?
Well, I actually had some teammates that played. A lot of my teammates from high school played for Ferrum when I graduated, and I just wanted a different scene, really. And I think it was too close to home, really. I mean, I literally live about 10 minutes from Ferrum. So that was just way too close to home. And I mean, even now it's kind of too close because my mom can come like anytime she wants or whatever. But I mean, it's nice because I'm far enough away from home, but still kind of close to it. Yeah.
She's not going to get mad at you for saying that, right?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay, just don't tell her. Just don't tell her that you're on today. You are, what's your major?
I'm a sociology major.
A sociology major. What is something that you hope to do with that?
I want to be a family counselor. I'm very family oriented myself, so I just like helping people and families and things like that.
What would that entail for you to do? I mean, for those that don't know, what would a family counselor deal with on a daily basis?
Well, basically what I want to go to is less fortunate families.
Okay.
So I would have to deal with like kids that maybe are unfit homes or have to help unfit parents get their children back, things like that.
What makes you, some people would cringe at the idea of being a part of that. Why does that inspire you and would make you want to do something like that?
I don't know. I feel like I've always wanted to do something to help the world be better. So I feel like that's something that helps towards making the world a better place. If you can help somebody else, I feel like that goes a long way. and you can teach somebody else to help somebody else too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Will basketball play any kind of role once you graduate? Do you hope to still be a part of it in some way?
I mean, I say no now, but like, I'm sure I won't be able to stay away from it for long.
Right. You get a chance to coach that rec league team.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
You're all for it, right? You're
yeah.
all for it. That's awesome. Well, while we have a few minutes left, I do want to talk about more about the team and where you guys are headed now. You obviously have that big goal that every year the women's basketball team has to get that first ODAC title. What's your overall feeling personally about where you look around that locker room? Do you have the pieces in place to get that done?
Yes, I think we definitely have the pieces. We have a great line of upperclassmen with Cheney and Kuhn and Sarah Kuhn and Sammy, and then we have me and Sarah Cornell right behind them leading the way. And we also have Olivia, Nauman, and Brittany who are right behind us. And the freshmen, I mean, they don't really know what's going on right now, but they definitely are playing and filling spots as they go. They're definitely getting better. I've seen them improve tremendously from the beginning of the year to now. So it's exciting to know that we'll have a deep bench to go to when other teams in ODAC won't, because we have great freshmen.
Well, a lot of people are excited about this team and glad that you said that, so they feel better about things as well. We wish you the best of luck next Monday, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. We'll be right back on the Weekly Sting. Welcome back, everyone, to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting with me, Joe Hutzler. Before we get to our last guest, let's get you that trivia answer for this week's Hornet trivia question, which was, with 10 assists versus Virginia Wesleyan last Saturday, Sammy Goldsmith tied the single-game women's record. How many others have done the same? 4. And this is the third time for Sammy Goldsmith herself, second time against Virginia Wesleyan. Just can't quite get above that 10 mark. Now let's look ahead at the upcoming schedule for men's basketball and women's basketball. The men will play at home on Saturday against Goucher College at 5 p.m. That game can be seen, of course, on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. And also, we will be on the road next Monday for a doubleheader, women's and men's, against Averett. The women play at 5, the men play at 7 o'clock. Now, we're joined by Lyndon White, a guard for the men's basketball team. Lyndon, thanks for being on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
Let's dive right in and let's get the bad stuff out of the way. Let's talk about Methodist. Let's talk about the game last week, and you and I chatted about this already.
We did.
And it was a very close game in terms of the score, but there was some key fundamental areas that didn't go your all's way, especially from 15 feet out.
Free throws. That was a glaring stat in free throws. I mean, I feel like we shot like 52%.
52, yeah.
And I feel like they shot 82%. Felt like 100. But I mean, I feel like down the stretch, I feel like they just made plays and we didn't. I know we watched film last night, and I feel like the glaring thing was just spacing on offense and just like our shots were falling. Like, I mean, we were getting wide open looks, and we just couldn't put it in the basket. So, I mean, I feel like we just stay the course, we'll be fine. So, I mean, it's not too, we didn't harp on it too bad. Like, when you watch film, it's not as bad as it looks or we thought it was. So, I mean, we're just going to stay the course, keep doing what we're doing, because we know later on in the future we're going to knock those shots down.
One narrative I did hear was some of you guys feel like you're playing down to your opponents somewhat. Is that a consensus feeling around the locker room?
I feel like that has partially to do with it, the problem. I feel like against Bridgewater, I feel like we kind of went in there thinking that like we were preseason polls, we were picked top, they were kind of picked at the bottom, lower the ODAC. So I mean, we feel like definitely we're like, yeah, like it shouldn't be too hard to beat these guys, and I feel like we let that get to our heads. But I mean, ODAC's a tough league, so I mean, like we can't take any game lightly. And like teams outside the ODAC, like Methodist, they're a good team too. So I mean, like that is probably a little bit of the problem. But I feel like we understand that we're not the Warriors. So I mean, we understand that we're not the best team out there. So we definitely come to practice ready to play and come to games ready to play.
Right. Let's hope you play every game like you did against Macon, right? I mean,
Yes.
that game, you guys looked really, really good in that game, and that's the team we hope to see down the stretch. The one thing that stands out to me when I talk to Coach Scott is that he really preaches that the defense will fuel the offense.
Yes.
Go through that mentality and what that entails. How does that actually work on the court? What do you need to do defensively to help your offense back in transition?
Yeah. Defense wins championships. I mean, like you say, it's very key, very important. But I feel like we just got to get stops. And like just that comes from knowing the scout. I mean, like Methodist, we knew they were a driving team. So, I mean, I feel like we really were in the gaps and we like sagged in the paint. And I feel like I said, they down the stretch they made shots. But I mean, it really just comes from knowing the scout and just knowing your personnel. And like that really will help you on the defensive end. And I feel like that's just like half the battle right there. So I mean, but other than that, I feel like our defense has been great so far. I mean, it will continue to be great because I know we practice on it and practice a lot. But I mean, overall, I feel like we're great on the defense end.
Well, we certainly hope to see that in a win on Saturday against Goucher College. Outside of basketball, you like to travel.
I do.
And you like to travel to exotic places,
Yes.
including
The Caribbean.
places. Yes, the Caribbean. What's the love about going to that area?
Just like the islands and like meeting different like cultures and groups and everything. I just like the islands. It's just like it's just fun like seeing like the world outside of like the U.S. and like the same day-to-day like process and just getting away, just having a vacation. Like it's just exciting. That just excites me, and I love like the smoothies and just all the tropical. Like I love just everything that's so tropical. I just like that.
Yeah?
But yeah, it's
You're
a great
man.
time. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you fish when you go down there?
Not when I'm down there. No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm too scared I'll fall off the ship when I was on it. But I mean, I don't fish down there. No.
Okay, but you do fish around here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Back home.
What do you like about fishing?
Well, actually, my favorite player, Paul George, I know in his off time he fishes.
Okay.
So it kind of got me like wanting to fish. And I know my buddy, he owns a house, so it's like right in the water. So I mean, I go over to his house and like we just start fishing. And I mean, it's really just like sometimes you go out there and you don't catch a lot, but I mean, it's really fun just to go out there and just like it's a good pastime. You just sit there and just wait and see if you can catch anything. But I've only caught one fish in my lifetime.
Only one.
Only one.
Lyndon,
Catfish with a bologna.
Okay.
But I mean, it's definitely a good time though.
That's not a bad fish to say that you only caught one.
Yeah.
It was a catfish.
It was.
A big catfish?
I've only caught one fish.
Was it a pretty large one?
It was pretty decent size. Like,
Okay.
not too big. I don't know how to.
And you used bologna.
Bologna, yeah. I didn't
That's the
use just
secret,
bologna.
everyone.
Yeah, bologna.
Okay?
Bologna.
Use bologna, and you will find a catfish at some point. Is that something that you think you say because Paul George did it, and sometimes we our favorite athlete does this, and then we kind of get away from it. But you think you might stay with something like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like this is gonna be like a lifetime thing, lifetime hobby, definitely.
Well, you definitely can do it for a lifetime.
Yes,
That's for sure.
great pastime.
Fishing is easy. Let's go back to your reasoning potentially in any way for coming to Lynchburg. What was the biggest factor in you coming here, and have you seen what you thought was a good reason for coming here? Have you seen that come to fruition?
Overall, the main reason is Coach Scott. I mean, he's the one that recruited me to come here. Like, I didn't really know much about the school until he started recruiting me, and I feel like he's a great reflection of Lynchburg College. I mean, he is exactly who he acts like he is. I mean, I don't know if I worded that right, but I mean, I feel like people will get the hint. But I mean, he's just a family-oriented guy. I mean, he talks to you about stuff other than basketball. I mean, he makes it more than basketball, because I think he realizes that this is like a certain point in my life, like playing basketball. Like, not just myself, teammates, and like, we want to go into the real world soon. So I mean, it's not going to be all about basketball. Like, some days, like, the air is going to be taking out that basketball.
Right.
So I mean, he talks to you about stuff other than that, and I just feel like he's just a great person that you can like look up to for 4 years. I mean, that's the reason why I came here. I mean, I wanted to learn from somebody, because overall he's like my second dad while I'm here. So I wanted to learn from him, and he could like mentor me for 4 years to become a better person.
Not a bad second dad to have. That's for sure. Last thing I want to ask you real quick. You are a communication studies
Correct. Yes,
major. What's something that you would like to do with that? I know you're not a senior yet, so you might not be thinking about it too much.
I mean, the
but
internships.
you might have, exactly. But you might have some idea of what you might want to do.
I think I want to be a spokesperson for an organization or company.
Okay.
I mean, I like talking a lot. I understand. I mean, I get nervous getting in front of people, but I like that. Like, I feel like I won't be playing basketball when I get older, and like sometimes I get nervous for games, and that boosts my adrenaline, and like I like that feeling of just getting like kind of nervous.
Okay.
And so I feel like when I get older, when I get in front of people, I get nervous, but I like that feeling. So, I mean, it's just something that just excites me.
There you go. Spokesperson for your company, right here. Lyndon White, he's available, and he's really cheap because he's still in school. So internship, get those hours.
Hit me up.
Yeah, absolutely. Lyndon, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for tuning in this week. Have a great Christmas. We will probably be doing something over break. I'm not sure if I can talk about it yet, but we'll certainly keep you abreast if something does happen over break. Again, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next time.